Welcome back to Chat Like a Native.
It's great to be back.
So today we are tackling a situation at work that I think causes a huge amount of anxiety for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a meeting, someone suggests an idea, could be your boss, a senior colleague, and you just know deep down that this idea is, it's just not right. It's risky. But what happens?
You freeze.
You freeze. You either say nothing or you start apologizing so much that your really valid concern just, it sounds weak.
Right, and we want to move past that today. The goal is really simple, to give you a clear, very powerful structure to share an honest opinion, respectfully and with confidence.
And the real benefit for you here is that you get the professional voice you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Your expertise actually contributes to the team's success instead of, getting lost because you're afraid of starting a fight.
And that's the key point. Disagreement isn't a fight, it's a contribution.
A contribution, exactly. We are replacing all that weak language with a really strong three-part system. And here's the mnemonic, the way to remember it all week. Just think LSR.
LSR. Listen, signal, reason.
Listen, signal, reason.
That's it. LSR is how we find that.
Yeah.
That third way.
Right.
It's soft, it's respectful, but it's firm. It's not a blunt no, which can sound aggressive.
Right.
And it's not silence, which is just, well, it's not helpful.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. Why is this so hard for people? I find that a lot of learners struggle because they're genuinely trying to be good colleagues. They say, I just don't want to sound rude.
That's exactly it. And it usually comes down to two big traps. First is just that fear of conflict. So to be nice, people overcompensate. They start piling on these words like, I'm so sorry, maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but I kind of feel like...
Oh, I've heard that so many times, and by the time the actual idea comes out...
It's buried.
It's buried. The power is just totally gone. It's like they're taking it back before they've even finished saying it.
Precisely. And the second big issue, especially for non-native English speakers, is direct translation. A phrase that sounds perfectly respectful in your first language might sound, well, really confrontational in English.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Something like, with all respect, your idea is impossible. In some languages, that's formal and polite. In a typical English-speaking office meeting, that sounds incredibly harsh.
So we have a language problem and a mindset problem. We need to fix both. Where do we start with the mindset?
The big shift is to redefine what disagreement is. It is not personal. It is not, you are stupid.
Right.
Disagreement is simply saying, I see a potential risk here, or I want the best result for our team, and my experience is telling me there's a better way.
Thinking of it as a value add, like you're protecting the client or the project, that really changes things, doesn't it? It makes your knowledge feel like an asset, not a problem.
Exactly. Let's think about that story of Fatima, the engineer. She was in a meeting, and her manager wanted to cut testing time to, hit the deadline faster. Fatima knew from years of experience this was a terrible idea. She knew it would cause huge problems later. But when her manager asked what she thought, she just said, okay.
And I'm guessing a few months later, things went very wrong.
They did. The system failed, just as she predicted. Her silence, which came from a good place, politeness, it actively harmed the project. Your knowledge is so useful, but silence makes it worthless to the team.
So speaking up is actually an act of contribution. I love that. Contribution, not confrontation. Okay, so let's get practical. How do we actually do it? Let's get into the LSR pattern.
Let's do it. So LSR, L is for listen. Step one, show you listened. You have to start by acknowledging the other person's idea. It's a fundamental sign of respect.
It stops them from immediately getting defensive, right? It says, hey, I heard you.
Yes, exactly. The goal is just to validate that you've heard them. So you can use simple phrases like, I see what you're saying, or I understand your point.
What about, I get why you're suggesting that?
Perfect. I get why you're suggesting that. It's definitely the faster way. You're acknowledging their goal.
Okay, that makes sense. So after L, we have S. This is the pivot.
S is for signal. Step two. Signal disagreement softly. This is your short, clear transition. And crucially, these phrases are clear, but they don't involve apologizing for having an opinion.
So definitely no, I'm sorry, but...
Absolutely not. Instead, try something like, I'm not sure I agree, or I'm afraid I see it differently.
I have a slightly different view on this.
That's a great one. Or my favorite, because it's so collaborative, is, can I share another perspective?
Oh, that's really good. It turns it into an invitation. Okay, and finally, our reason.
Yes, you can't just disagree. You have to follow up immediately with a clear, concise reason, or even better, an alternative solution. You point to facts or past experience.
You give the why right away. So let's role play the Fatima situation. You be Fatima using LSR. I'll be her manager, Bob.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Fatima, we're cutting QA testing by 2 months. It's the only way to hit the launch date. What do you think?
Bob, I understand that hitting the deadline is critical, and cutting 2 weeks of QA is definitely the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
However, I'm afraid I see a high risk with that approach. My concern is that last time we cut testing, even by a few days, we had serious integration problems after the launch. It cost us 3 times as long to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
Could we maybe test the core functions now and push the non-critical features to a patch later?
Wow. Okay. That's completely different. It's respectful, it's firm, it's based on data, and it offers a solution. It's totally professional.
She listened, she signaled, and she gave a really strong reason.
Which brings us to the next big hurdle, the apology habit.
Mm-hmm.
Even with LSR, that urge to say sorry is so strong. Why is that so bad for us professionally?
Because it just kills your credibility.
Hmm.
When you're always saying sorry, you're basically signaling that you think your opinion doesn't matter or that you're being a problem just by speaking.
It's like you're apologizing for having expertise, which is kind of the reason you're in the room.
Exactly. Save sorry for when you actually make a mistake. You're late, you forgot something, you actually hurt someone's feelings. Having a different professional opinion is not a mistake.
Okay, let's do some quick swaps. This is so important. I'll give you the weak, apology-filled phrase. You give us the strong, professional one.
Let's do it.
Okay, instead of, I'm so sorry, but I totally disagree with you.
Try. I see what you mean, but I have a different opinion on this. It's firm, but it's respectful.
Big difference. Okay, next one, the classic. Sorry, maybe this is a stupid idea, but I think...
Oh, never say that. Swap it for, this might sound a bit different, but I think.
Yeah.
You're acknowledging it's a new idea without, sabotaging yourself.
Perfect. And what about when you just want to say, you're wrong?
Yeah, don't say that in a professional setting.
Yeah.
Ever. Just say, I see it differently. Or, that hasn't been my experience. It protects the relationship.
Last one, the blunt, no, we can't do that.
You want to soften it, but keep the meaning. So try. I don't think we can do that with our current resources. It gives a reason. The limitation is resources. It's not just a flat no.
That's a great distinction. Now, we've got the structure, we've got the vocabulary. Let's talk about context. Because you wouldn't talk to a client the same way you talk to a colleague you eat lunch with every day.
Absolutely not. The softness of your LSR changes depending on who you're talking to. We can think of it as 3 levels.
So context 1, a manager or a client, high stakes.
Right. This is where you use your most careful, formal phrases. You'd say something like, I'm afraid I don't quite agree on that point, or, with respect, I see this a bit differently.
And I suppose you could even frame it as a question to make it even softer.
Yes. Would it be possible to consider another option? That's
Huh.
very diplomatic. Let's say your manager wants to send a proposal to a client right now, but without the budget details.
Okay, so as the manager, I'd say, let's just get this out the door. We'll send the numbers next week.
A good LSR reply would be, I see your point about moving quickly. However, I'm a bit concerned the client will just ask for the numbers immediately, which might slow us down. Would it be possible to add just a short budget summary for now?
That is brilliant. It acknowledges my priority speed, but then uses the reason step to point out a flaw in my plan. Okay, context 2. Colleagues, your peers.
This is your neutral zone. You can be a bit more direct, but still, polite.
So what would that sound like?
You could say, I see what you're saying, but I'm not totally convinced. Or, actually, I think we might need more time for that.
Okay, there's a good example about a server migration. A colleague wants to do it on a Friday evening because it's quiet.
Right. Sounds logical. But the LSR counterpoint would be, I get why you're suggesting Friday evening fewer users will be affected, but I'm concerned about the weekly backup. It runs every Friday night. If we do the migration then, we risk a major conflict. Could we do it Sunday morning instead?
Again, the reason isn't just a feeling, it's a specific technical fact. It turns disagreement into smart planning.
Exactly. And finally, context 3. Friendly situations. Your close teammates.
So here we can relax a bit more.
For sure. You could be more casual. I don't think so, to be honest. Or, I'm not a fan of that idea. But the key is your tone. It has to stay friendly. A calm voice, maybe a small smile, shows it's just a discussion among peers.
That makes so much sense. The words change, but the intention contribution, not confrontation, is always the same. Okay, theory is great, but practice is everything. Let's give our listeners some specific drills for this week.
Yes, let's move this from just an idea into a real skill. We've got 3 tasks you can do.
First up is the meeting phrase challenge. Before your next meeting, actually write down 2 full LSR sentences you think you might need, and then commit to using at least one of them.
The second one is mirror practice. This is all about your delivery. Stand in front of a mirror and say the phrases out loud. My concern is that this is too risky. Notice your tone, your posture. You want to sound calm and firm.
The delivery is so important. And finally, for anyone who does a lot of writing, the email rewrite. Take an email where you need to disagree. Write it the old way first with all the apologies.
And then rewrite it using LSR. 1 sentence to listen, 1 to signal, 1 to give your reason. Put them side by side. The difference will be, well, it will be obvious how much more professional the LSR version is.
So the big takeaway here is you don't need perfect grammar to do this well. You just need a few strong patterns like LSR and the courage to actually use them.
Remember that mindset shift. Disagreement is not an attack. It's how you protect the work, how you contribute your expertise. Stop apologizing for it.
So commit that to memory, LSR. Listen, signal, reason. You have the knowledge. This is about the delivery.
And here's your final challenge. Find 1 real situation at work this week. It could be a meeting, an email, a small chat. Prepare 1 sentence using the LSR structure and just use it. Step by step, that's how you become the person who speaks up clearly and respectfully, turning your expertise into a real contribution.